Why I am vegan, how I went vegan, and how you can too. It's good vegan chocolate. Dark chocolate, it says vegan. Good stuff. So in this video, I'm just going to basically go through how I went vegan, why I went vegan, and also the way that you can go vegan if you want to. Maybe you're thinking of transitioning to being vegan, maybe you're vegetarian, maybe you eat meat, and maybe you just want to transition but you don't know how, and you don't want to just cut off cold turkey, which I didn't personally do. I did it over a period of time, and I'll explain exactly how I did that in this video. So before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that bell icon so that you get notified whenever I post. But other than that, let's jump into how you can do it. So it all started when I went to Bali.
Still don't want to make too much noise, it's still early. Let's have a look.
In 2018. I went to a yoga and meditation retreat, had amazing food at this retreat. Not every meal was vegan, but most of the meals were. And I had avocado mousse, which was the nicest chocolate mousse I ever had. So it was getting to the point where I was thinking, I was like, I don't actually need milk and eggs and stuff like that. I don't actually need it. Obviously, I was still eating fish and meat and stuff like that at the time. Then fast forward a little bit, I went to a villa I was staying at with my sister. We ended up going out one night and I ordered, so from the equivalent of like Uber Eats, there's something called Gojek in Bali. And I remember we ordered it and it was the worst tasting burger I've ever had in my life. It was the worst tasting chips. And I remember waking up the next day and I was just like, that was disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. And then the next day we went out for a meal. Met some people in the gym and they were like, oh, come out for a meal. So we were like, yeah, let's go. So we went out for a meal and she went vegan just that day before. She went cold turkey, literally from eating meat to never eating meat again, and she hasn't since. And that was very hard for me to do, so I didn't do that. But she did that overnight and we went out for this meal. She watched a bunch of documentaries, and if you want to watch any documentary, What the Health, Cowspiracy, and Game Changers. Game Changers was my favourite one out of them all. Actually, I really like What the Health as well. They're all really good. I'd recommend to watch all of them. So I definitely recommend watching them. But she watched them and she just switched overnight. We went out to this place and I had a chicken burger, I think it was. And she had, I think it was like a Thai green curry, which was the first time she was, I think, sort of eating out as a vegan. And literally, it was so ironic. The next day, I had such bad food poisoning from this chicken. I was hallucinating because I was throwing up. I woke up at 4 in the morning the next day. I was throwing up, then I was literally just sitting on the toilet, throwing up, sitting on the toilet, like all day. I couldn't stomach water without throwing up. I couldn't stomach a plain Pringle, yes, a plain Pringle, the plainest thing on planet Earth. I couldn't even stomach that. It's literally like eating a bit of carb. I could not stomach it without throwing it back up. And from that day forward, I just cut out chicken completely. And I was already getting to the point where I was like, I just want to eat less red meat. And it was from that burger. I was like, I just want to eat less red meat. I don't really like it. So what is called is progressive extremism, and I've explained this in another video, so if you want to go and watch that video to really dive deeper into progressive extremism, I think I explained it in the video. But yeah, go and check that out and you can really dive deep into it. Or there's other videos I made about smoking, about how you can cut things out slowly. If I haven't made that video, then I will get on making that video as well, and it will be here if you're watching this video after I've already posted the second one, if that makes sense. But essentially, I went from cutting out red meat slowly to then just like, I'm not eating chicken ever again. I'm not eating it. And I do generally remember waking up the next day just like, I just can't do it. I do not want to do it. I cannot do it. But I was still eating fish at the time. Fish, milk, dairy, sort of all that kind of stuff. So eggs and everything like that. And I got to the point where I would wake up and I would have some food, but it was actually quite nice to, I felt really energized. Initially, it was just like my energy level just went boom, boom, like incredibly. Now, when I recommend going vegan, I don't recommend going down a processed diet, which is not healthy for you. If you want to do it and you want to get the health benefits from it, then eat a more organic lifestyle. Eat more veggies, eat more like your fruits, your veggies, and making things into actual organic rather than your processed burgers and sausages and stuff like that. They're not going to be good for you. Regardless, yes, they may be plant-based, but they are not good for you. They're just not. They're genetically modified, so they're not good for you. But that doesn't mean I don't eat them at times, because I do like the taste. And I love burgers, just not meat burgers. And yeah, I really got to the point where I was just like, like, let me just do this slowly. And I remember I was like, I got to the point of just cutting him out slowly. And then I went to vegan, but then I was like, oh, there was this one snack that I used to eat. It was like, I can't remember the name of it. It was this chocolate thing that had milk in it. And I began to get really lazy. I was like, I can't be bothered to check what's in it. Now it's just sort of like a second nature. And we become what we think about. We become our habits. And now if I go to the shop, I will look at the back of things and say, oh no, it's got milk in it. Or, oh no, it's got this in it. Oh no, it's got that in it. But I've noticed most of the things that I cook, that people think, well, you can't have pancakes ever again. You can't have Yorkshire puddings ever again. Yes, you can. You can. You just don't add the egg. That's literally it. For pancakes, instead of flour, milk, and an egg, I would just add flour and almond milk, or flour and oat milk, and a banana. And it does the exact same thing. Everyone whenever I've cooked anything vegan has always eaten it, from curries to pancakes to vegan pizzas to vegan chicken bites. Like, they're obviously not great for you. But people like the food. The difference is, people don't want to miss out on the foods that they like your chicken nuggets and stuff like that. You can get vegan options, and they do genuinely taste really good. And one of the things that I like to say, like, I'm not a vegan activist. I do generally believe everyone should be vegan, but I'm to the point where I know not everyone is going to be vegan, because it's not really a sustainable way of thinking. It's like saying everyone's got to be positive 100% of the time. It's not going to happen, because there is good in the world, there is bad in the world, and that's just the way that the world works. Without the bad, we would never appreciate how good the good really is. And I don't like to preach everything to people. I like to sort of help them come to a realization themselves and say, a vegan diet, in my opinion, the reason I won't eat meat is because I genuinely don't want to kill animals. That's the only reason now. Originally, it was because I wanted to be healthier. But because I don't want to kill animals, I will not eat meat. So if someone says to me, oh, I love animals, but they eat meat, then you don't love animals, you love some animals. And in my opinion, you're just going against what you say. If you say you love animals, then you wouldn't eat them. Just like if you said you love your parents, you don't eat your parents. So it's kind of like the way of looking at it, which is a different way of looking at it, which is saying, like, you can say you love animals, but you have to back up what you say. Like, if I said, oh, I am a professional footballer, I have to back up what I say with the results that I can get of being a professional footballer, if that makes sense. Let me dive a little bit deeper into progressive extremism as well. And essentially what it is just going from slowly cutting things out. As I said, I started cutting out red meat for a week or so. Then I started cutting out chicken for a week or so. Then I started cutting out fish. Then I started, oh sorry, I've got a really itchy eye. Then I started cutting out your dairy products and eggs and stuff like that. And then I just went vegan. But then, as I said, I went to vegan. Then I went back to vegetarian because it was just getting too much. And I was like, oh, I have to check everything. I don't want to do it. And I remember I did eat something that had milk in it, and I felt really bad. And I was like, I don't want to feel bad for doing that. Although, when you actually look deeper into it, you don't want to be told that you're the cause of the suffering of these animals. You don't want to be told that these animals are dying because you want something on your plate. You don't want to be told that, and I get that. I completely understand that. If someone would have told that to me before I was vegan, I would have been like, well, I'm going to eat more, because don't tell me what to do, sort of thing. It's coming from that standpoint, and I completely understand that. So a lot of people, and I see a lot of vegan activists really talking and speaking out about it, and I agree with all that they're saying. What they're saying is right. If you say you love animals, you don't eat animals, you don't want to be held accountable for the bad stuff that's going on to these animals, so you just sort of close a blind eye to it. But that doesn't mean you're necessarily a bad person, because you've grown up in a certain way. That's all you know. And we only know what we know. We've only know what we've been told. So is it you being a bad person? No. It's just you not understanding another way of looking at it. And if you look at a kid, they naturally would not want to kill an animal. They wouldn't. But they would be happy to have their chicken nuggets, because they don't associate the chicken nuggets to an animal. You don't. They're chicken nuggets at the end of the day. So it's just looking at it from a different way. And what I would recommend to people is definitely trying a vegan diet for a while. And noticing the shifts that you can do, because there's certain things in life, when we start to discipline ourselves, we start to grow in different areas of our life. The fact that I'm vegan, that has allowed me to be more strict with my diet and what I eat. And that doesn't mean I don't eat crap. I was just eating a bit of chocolate at the start of this video, a bit of dark chocolate. I had pancakes this morning with some chocolate on it. That's okay. And it is okay to have some bad foods. Obviously, I recommend to stay away from sugar as much as possible, because it's not good for you at the end of the day. But it's really just changing your way of looking at your diet on a whole nother level. You want to be healthier, eat a healthier diet, and you can really allow yourself to go vegan. But I just wanted to share this video to explain why I went vegan. As I said, it's because I don't want to see animals suffer, and it was because I was paying for it. And it is supply and demand at the end of the day. I know people are like, well, yeah, but there's so many in the world, they would have to die anyway. Yeah, I get what you mean, but if people weren't buying it, no one would spend time breeding these animals in such horrible conditions to then be sort of like mass slaughtered. They wouldn't do that. So I completely understand why the vegan activists that stand up about this stuff do it. I do completely agree with it. But that's not how I would personally do it, because we know what we know. I can't tell you to now start speaking another language just because I tell you to, because we're natural, habitual beings. So I can't just tell you to do it. I would have to sort of teach you how to do it. And as I said, I've given you a step-by-step of the progressive extremism, from cutting out red meat, which is, that's one of the heaviest meats, then cutting out white meat, then going to cutting out fish, then going to vegetarian, then going to vegan. Yes, there's going to be suffering still to that point from the animal's perspective, but it's better than to do it eventually than to never do it, in my opinion. Whether I'm right or wrong, I don't know. But that's the way that I would like to do it, and that's the way that I like to encourage people to do it, because it's a little bit easier to do stuff over a period of time than just go cold turkey. That is a little bit, pardon the pun, but that is a little bit tricky. But it's still possible to do that, and as I said, my sister's done that. I know people that have done that. So yeah, if you're considering it, 100% recommend it. It's made me feel a lot better. It's made me have more energy. But as I said, besides that, the main thing is that animals don't suffer because I'm not paying for it. And yeah, that's really the thing. Like, I just don't like to, I wouldn't cook it for anyone. If someone, I would not cook it. I just wouldn't. And I don't like to buy it either. I won't buy it. If someone asks me, I won't buy it, because I don't want, regardless if it's them, I do not want to be part of that transaction morally. I just don't. As I said, whether that's right or wrong, I don't know. But that's the story of how I went vegan and why I went vegan. So I hope this helped you, and I hope it's given you something to think about. And if you have any questions about it, comment down below. But other than that, have an amazing day. Keep spreading love, kindness, and so much positivity. Yeah.